A couple of months ago, I picked up two Light Lens Lab lenses from a guy right here in the Bay. Now, I have never used any lens from Light Lens Lab, but I've heard enough people say good things about them, including Ted Forbes, a channel I really respect when it comes to getting detailed information about photography gear. And for that reason, Light Lens Lab lenses have always had me a bit curious about their look and their performance. Now, I'm a guy that loves both the 35mm and 50mm focal length, and that's why for my Leica system, I have a 35 and a 50 Summilux. It's very hard to compete with the sharpness, the contrast, and the character of Summilux lenses. And more than anything else, I'm really a sucker for good lens character. I think this comes from years of shooting like perfect lenses. On my Sony system, that's the GM lenses. I've shot those for many years, and prior to that, it was Canon with Canon L lenses. Today, I'm just all about character lenses over clinical lenses. Like, I'm really after a certain look over just perfection. And that's why I picked up these two Light Lens Lab lenses. Because more than anything else, they are supposed to have just great character. Now, if this is your first time here, my name is Dave. I'm a photographer and videographer from the Bay Area of California. Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. I put out 2 videos a week unless something goes horribly wrong. Like this video right here. Typically, I am in my workroom and studio, but that has been completely taken over by a product shoot that I'm working on. So I'm actually in the backyard, and we've got the horses back here, the Cessna airplanes from the local airport that keep flying over my head, the wind, and of course, the flies. All of these things are fighting against me today, but I'm so committed to you and this channel, I'm out here doing this video. So thanks for watching and subscribing. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I hosted my first ever workshop right here in the Bay, and it was a ton of fun. I got to meet some incredible people who are great photographers and artists, and our little group has blossomed into like this really cool friendship that's continued on even since they've all gone back to their respective places in America, from the East Coast to other parts of the country and even just regionally right here in the Bay. And since I was hosting this workshop and very familiar with the places we were going to shoot, I decided to leave my typical kit at home, which would be the Summilux lenses, and instead just bring along the Light Lens Lab lenses, because that would force me to use them and get comfortable and familiar with them. I wanted to give them a proper test run, and to no surprise, all the hype is pretty true. I'm very impressed with these lenses. So what lenses were they? Let's start with the 35. So what lenses were they? Let's start with the 35. This is the 8-element 35, which is a reproduction of the version 1 Summicron that Leica had made. You can see that it's pretty tiny, and I love a good tiny lens. The other is this Cooke reproduction, this Speed Panchro 2 50mm lens. And with the lens hood on, it's a pretty sizable lens, much bigger than my 50 Summilux. But it's also beautiful, and both of these lenses are quite heavy and feel really quality. My initial impressions is that these lenses are not the sharpest lenses wide open, but they maintain a bit of character throughout the entire aperture range. I would say that the images that I got during the workshop were pleasing and sharp, and I was overall very happy with them. If I had to leverage a criticism with these lenses, it would really be just the user experience. For instance, on the 35, there is an infinity lock. I just locked it. I do not like that infinity lock because the button to release it is really small, and I just didn't love the shooting experience of the lens locking over here and then having to release it if I wanted to focus on something else. In the same way, I didn't love the experience of the 50 either. Now, when I got the lens, the focusing tab was not on because the guy said it was easier for him to use it without a focusing tab. I put this on because I love focus tabs, and there's also just the single one as well you can put on. They kind of let you customize this lens how you like it, but I don't know. There's something about this design that I just don't love, but I do recognize that this is a very classic design, and it's meant to be true to that classic experience. I'm just more used to a bit more of a modern lens, which is why I'm reaching for a criticism, because that would be the only one that I really have. So I thought what we would do now is we will just take the 50 and the 35 Summilux and take a few photos sitting here, and we'll compare them to the 8-element 35 from Light Lens Lab and this Cooke reproduction, the Speed Panchro 2, and just use the Summilux as like a baseline of a Leica look. And we'll compare that against how the Light Lens Lab images render. I'm just gonna take these photos from the chair here. I'm not gonna go walk around. We've got some stuff here, some stuff there, horses here. So I'm gonna take a few photos and then we'll just compare them. And we'll shoot all these at f2, f4, and f8, and I'll just put what they are below. All right, let's start right here. We'll do this at f8. We'll do the B's at f4. And we'll do this hardware here at f2. All right, switching over to the Light Lens Lab lens. There's our f8. Our f4. And f2. All right, we're gonna move over to 35 now. Here's the Summilux. Same shots, same pattern here. f8. f4. And f2. Okay, we're gonna switch over to the Light Lens Lab 8-element 35. All right, here's f8. Freaking infinity lock. Hate that infinity lock. f4. And f2. You know what? We better get a portrait too. Hold on a second. Let me just text Jen over at the house. Come to the back. All right, let's give her a second. We'll do this with the 50 and the 35, just like we've been doing. All right, Jen, sit in the chair. Sit right here. Yep. All right, first up, we're gonna do the Light Lens Lab lens. We're gonna work backwards. There's gonna be an f2. I'm gonna take all these portraits at f2. All right, you ready? Sure. All right, 3, 2, 1. Three, two. Three, two. Okay. 3, 2. Let's all give a big round of applause for Jen. Okay, so will I keep these lenses long term? Probably not. They are great lenses, but I just personally don't see a scenario where I'm grabbing this pair instead of my 50 and 35 Summilux. But I do enjoy using them right now and probably will use them throughout the summer, maybe into the fall, and then at some point I'm just gonna let them go. Now, I would love to hear your thoughts. Do you have any experiences with Light Lens Lab lenses? And how do you think the photos felt in this video? Now, I know they're just boring farm photos right here, but I would love to hear what you see as a difference between the Light Lens Lab lenses and the Summilux, and especially thinking if the Summilux is just like a baseline that we can judge the Light Lens Lab lenses off of. And just disclaimer, of course, we don't expect the Light Lens Lab lenses to perform like a Summilux, but just saying that Summilux is an iconic Leica lens with an iconic Leica look. How do you think the Light Lens Lab lenses look? If you're still with me, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to this channel if you don't already, and I will see you next time.